Ehud Barak is an Israeli former general and politician who served as the 10th Prime Minister from 1999 to 2001. He was leader of the Labour Party between 1997 and 2001 and between 2007 and 2011. Born on a kibbutz, Barak is the eldest of 4 sons. His grandparents were murdered in the Holocaust. He graduated in physics and mathematics from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and later obtained a master's in engineering economic systems from Stanford University. Barak's military career in the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, began in 1959, spanning 35 years and culminating in his appointment as Chief of the General Staff in 1991, serving until 1995. His military tenure is noted for his leadership in several operations, including Operation Isotope in 1972, the covert 1973 Israeli raid in Lebanon, and the 1976 Entebbe raid. A lieutenant general, Barak shares with 2 others the honor of being the most highly decorated soldier in Israel's history. In politics, his career began with his appointment as Interior Minister in 1995 under Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. Following Rabin's assassination, he served as Minister of Foreign Affairs in Shimon Peres government. Barak was elected to the Knesset on the Labour Party list in 1996 and subsequently became party leader. Barak served as Israel's last left-wing prime minister from 1999 to 2001. His tenure was marked by significant events, including the decision to form a coalition with the Orthodox party Shas, the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Southern Lebanon in 2000, and participation in the 2000 Camp David summit aimed at resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Barak's government faced challenges, notably the protests in October 2000. After defeat in the 2001 Israeli prime ministerial election, he left politics and engaged in international business and advisory roles. He made a political comeback in 2005, attempting to regain leadership in the Labour Party, and later served as defense minister, where he led Operation Cast Lead in 2008-09, and deputy prime minister under Ehud Olmert and then in Benjamin Netanyahu's second government between 2007 and 2013. His decision to form the Independence Party in 2011 marked a shift in his politics, influencing the dynamics within the Netanyahu government. Despite retiring from politics in 2012, he attempted another comeback, running in the September 2019 Israeli legislative election as the leader of Israel Democratic Party, a new party he formed. His party merged with others to form an alliance called the Democratic Union, but it did not win enough seats for him to become a member of the Knesset. One outside of his political and military career, Barak has accumulated wealth through business endeavors and investments. His net worth is estimated to be $10 to $15 million. Ehud Barak was born on Kibbutz Mishmar HaSharon in what was then Mandatory Palestine. He is the eldest of 4 sons of Esther, née Godin, June 25, 1914 to August 12, 2013, and Yisrael Mendel Brog, August 24, 1910 to February 8, 2002. His paternal grandparents, Frida and Reuven Brog, were murdered in Pusalotas, Push Elat, in northern Lithuania, then ruled by Russian Empire, in 1912, leaving his father orphaned at the age of 2. Barak's maternal grandparents, Elka and Shmuel Godin, died at the Treblinka extermination camp during the Holocaust. Ehud Hebraized his family name from Brog to Barak in 1972. It was during his military service that he met his future wife, Nava, née Cohen, born April 8, 1947 in Tiberias. They had 3 daughters together, Michael, born August 9, 1970, Yael, born October 23, 1974, and Anat, born October 16, 1981. He has grandchildren. Barak divorced Nava in August 2003. On July 30, 2007, Barak married Nili Priel, born April 25, 1944, in a small ceremony in his private residence. In his spare time, Barak enjoys reading works by writers such as Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, and he is a classical pianist, with many years of study behind him. Barak earned his bachelor's degree in physics and mathematics from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem in 1968, and his master's degree in engineering economic systems in 1978 from Stanford University, California. Military career. Barak joined the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, in 1959. He served in the IDF for 35 years, rising to the position of Chief of the General Staff and the rank of Rav Alef, Lieutenant General, the highest in the Israeli military. During his service as a commando in the elite Sayeret Matkal, Barak led several highly acclaimed operations, such as Operation Isotope, the mission to free the hostages on board the hijacked Sabena Flight 571 at Lod Airport in 1972, the covert 1973 Israeli raid in Lebanon in Beirut, in which he was disguised as a woman to kill members of the Palestine Liberation Organization. Barak was also a key architect of the June 1976 Entebbe raid, another rescue mission to free the hostages of the Air France aircraft hijacked by terrorists and forced to land at the Entebbe airport in Uganda. These highly acclaimed operations, along with Operation Bayonet, led to the dismantling of Palestinian terrorist cell Black September. It has been alluded that Barak also masterminded the Tunis raid on April 16, 1988, in which PLO leader Abu Jihad was killed. During the Yom Kippur War, Barak commanded an improvised regiment of tanks which, among other things, helped rescue Paratrooper Battalion 890, commanded by Yitzhak Mordecai, which was suffering heavy losses in the Battle of the Chinese Farm. He went on to command the 401st Armored Brigade and the 611 St. Pillar of Fire and 252nd Sinai Divisions, before his appointment to head the IDF's Planning Directorate. Barak also participated in the siege of Beirut, overseeing it from Beirut International Airport. Barak later served as head of Amman, the Military Intelligence Directorate, 1983-85, head of Central Command, 1986-87, and Deputy Chief of the General Staff, 1987-91. He served as Chief of the General Staff between April 1, 1991 and January 1, 1995. During this period he implemented the first Oslo Accords and participated in the negotiations towards the Israel-Jordan peace treaty. Barak was awarded the Medal of Distinguished Service and 4 Chief of Staff citations, Zalash Haramatkal, for courage and operational excellence. These 5 decorations make him the most decorated soldier in Israeli history, jointly with close friend Nechemiah Cohen. In 1992 he was awarded the Legion of Merit, Commander, by the United States. In 2012, he was again awarded by the United States with the Department of Defense Medal for Distinguished Public Service. 10. Political career. On July 7, 1995, Barak was appointed Minister of Internal Affairs by Yitzhak Rabin. When Shimon Peres formed a new government following Rabin's assassination in November 1995, Barak was made Minister of Foreign Affairs, 1995-96. He was elected to the Knesset on the Labour Party list in 1996, and served as a member of the Knesset Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee. Following internal elections after Peres' defeat in the election for Prime Minister in 1996, Barak became the leader of the Labour Party. Prime Minister of Israel. In the 1999 prime ministerial election, Barak beat Benjamin Netanyahu by a wide margin. However, he sparked controversy by deciding to form a coalition with the ultra-Orthodox party Shas, who had won an unprecedented 17 seats in the 120-seat Knesset. Shas grudgingly agreed to Barak's terms that they eject their leader Aryeh Deri, a convicted felon, and enact reform to clean up in-party corruption. Consequentially, the left-wing Meretz Party quit the coalition after they failed to agree on the powers to be given to a Shas deputy minister in the Ministry of Education. In 1999 Barak gave a campaign promise to end Israel's 22-year-long occupation of southern Lebanon within a year. On May 24, 2000, Israel withdrew from southern Lebanon. On October 7, 3 Israeli soldiers were killed in a border raid by Hezbollah and their bodies were subsequently captured. The bodies of these soldiers, along with the living Elhanan Tenenbaum, were eventually exchanged for Lebanese captives in 2004. The Barak government resumed peace negotiations with the PLO, stating that every attempt by the State of Israel to keep hold of this area, the West Bank and Gaza, as one political entity leads, necessarily, to either a non-democratic or a non-Jewish state. Because if the Palestinians vote, then it is a binational state, and if they don't vote it is an apartheid state. As part of these negotiations, Barak took part in the Camp David 2000 summit, which was meant finally to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict but failed. Barak also allowed Foreign Minister Shlomo Ben-Ami to attend the Entebbe summit with the leadership of the Palestinian Authority, after his government had fallen. Domestic issues. On August 22, 1999, Barak appointed the Tal Committee, which dealt with the controversial issue of ultra-Orthodox Jews' exemption from military service. Following the failure of the Camp David summit with Arafat and Bill Clinton in the summer of 2000, when the original 7 years mandate of the PNA expired, and just after Israel pulled out its last troops out of southern Lebanon in May 2000, the weeks-long riots in October 2000 led to the killing of 12 Israeli Arabs and 1 Palestinian by Israel police and 1 Jewish civilian by Israeli Arabs. Resignation. In 2001, Barak called an election for Prime Minister. In the contest, he was defeated by Likud leader Ariel Sharon, and subsequently resigned as Labour leader and from the Knesset. He left Israel to work as a senior advisor with United States-based electronic data systems. He also partnered with a private equity company focused on security-related work. Return to politics. In 2005, Barak announced his return to Israeli politics, and ran for leadership of the Labour Party in November. However, in light of his weak poll showings, Barak dropped out of the race early and declared his support for veteran statesman Shimon Peres. Following his failed attempt to maintain leadership of the Labour Party, Barak became a partner of the investment company SCP Private Equity Partners, Pennsylvania. He also established a company, Ehud Barak Limited, which is thought to have made over NIS 30 million. After Peres lost the race to Amir Peretz and left the Labour Party, Barak announced he would stay at the party, despite his shaky relationship with its newly elected leader. He declared, however, that he would not run for a spot on the Labour Party's Knesset list for the March 2006 elections. Barak's attempt to return to a prominent role in Israel politics seemed to have failed. However, Peretz's hold on the Labour leadership proved unexpectedly shaky, as he was badly damaged by negative views of his performance as defense minister during the 2006 Lebanon War, which was seen as something less than a success in Israel. In January 2007, Barak launched a bid to recapture the leadership of the Labour Party in a letter acknowledging mistakes and inexperience during his tenure as Prime Minister. In early March 2007, a poll of Labour Party primary voters put Barak ahead of all other opponents, including Peretz. In the first round of voting, on May 28, 2007, he gained 39% of the votes, more than his 2 closest rivals, but not enough to win the election. As a result, Barak faced a runoff against the second-place finisher, Ami Ayalon, on June 12, 2007, which he won by a narrow margin. Barak has been critical of what he sees as racist sentiments that have recently been expressed by some Israeli rabbis and rebbetzins. He views such statements as a threat to Israeli unity and that they may lead Israeli society into a dark and dangerous place. After winning back the leadership of the Labour Party, Barak was sworn in as Minister of Defense on June 18, 2007, as part of Prime Minister Olmert's cabinet reshuffle. However, on July 1, 2007, Barak led a successful effort in the Labour Central Committee to stipulate that Labour would leave the government coalition if Olmert did not resign by September or October 2007. At that time the Winograd Commission would publish its final report on the performance of the Israel Defense Forces and its civilian leadership. The preliminary Winograd report released earlier this year laid most of the blame on Olmert for poorly planning, executing, and reviewing war strategies in the 2006 conflict against Hezbollah. From December 2008 to January 2009, Barak led the Israel Defense Forces through Operation Cast Lead in his capacity as Minister of Defense. Labor won only 13 out of the 120 Knesset seats in the 2009 elections, making them the fourth largest party. Barak and other labor officials initially stated they would not take part in the next government. However, over the objections of some in the Labor Party, in March 2009, Barak reached an agreement under which Labor joined the governing coalition led by Benjamin Netanyahu. Barak retained his position as defense minister, leaving the Labor Party. In January 2011, Labor Party leader Barak formed a breakaway party, Independence, which enabled him to maintain his loyal Labor's MK faction within Netanyahu's government, and prevented the departure of Labor Party as a whole from Netanyahu's coalition government. Labor previously threatened to force Barak to do so. After Barak's move, Netanyahu was able to maintain a majority of 66 MK, out of 120 in the Knesset, previously having 74 MKs within his majority coalition. In February 2011, Barak attended a ceremony at the UN for the International Day of Commemoration in memory of the victims of the Holocaust. Barak told the UN General Assembly that an independent, strong, thriving and peaceful state of Israel is the vengeance of the dead. Barak's Independence Party was due to run in a legislative election, but decided not to in 2012, and retired from politics. Barak planned to quit since Operation Pillar of Defense but postponed it until later that year. Barak stated during an American television interview that he would probably strive for nuclear weapons if he were in Iran's position, adding, "I don't delude myself that they are doing it just because of Israel." This comment has been criticized and compared to Barak's comment in 1998 during a television interview when he said that if he were a Palestinian he would probably have joined one of the terror organizations. In 2023 it was revealed that Barak had visited Jeffrey Epstein around 30 times from 2013 to 2017 and had also flown on his jet, having first met Epstein in 2003. Barak denied any wrongdoing. Return to political life. On June 26, 2019, Barak announced his return to politics and his intention to form a new party named the Israel Democratic Party, intending to challenge Netanyahu in the September 2019 Israeli legislative election. The party ran with Meretz and other parties in the Democratic Union Alliance, which received 5 seats. Barak himself did not enter the Knesset. In an interview with Haaretz reported in January 2015, Barak was asked to explain the source of his big capital, with which he bought 5 apartments and connected them, and by which he lives in a giant rental apartment in a luxury high-rise. Barak said he currently earns more than $1 million a year, and that from 2001 to 2007, he also earned more than $1 million every year, from giving lectures and from consulting for hedge funds. Barak also said he made millions of dollars more from his investments in Israeli real estate properties. In the interview, Barak was asked whether he is a lobbyist who earns a living from opening doors. The interviewer stated, "You have arrived recently at the Kazakhstan despot Nazarbayev and the president of Ghana. You are received immediately." Barak confirmed that he has been received by these heads of state but denied earning money from opening doors for international business deals for Israeli and foreign corporations, and said he does not see any ethical or moral problems in his business activities. He further said there is no logic to demand of him, after the natural process in democracy has ended, to not utilize the tools he accumulated in his career to secure his financial future. When asked if his financial worth is $10 to $15 million, Barak said, "I'm not far from there." Thank you for watching this video.